social component of that?
It feels like legitimacy to me. It feels like you're making a statement about your brand, that you're not just wishing and hoping, that you're a part of this. It's like a theory or a thesis that you're saying, I think we belong here. And then after a certain amount of time, you say, you know what, we do belong here. This is right.
Do you interact with other property creators or representatives at the parade?
I've become friends with Jeannie Schultz, the widow of Charles Schultz, and it's a small club, so it's pretty cool to be a part of that club.
In a battle of balloons,
would Greg or Snoopy win? I gotta switch the question to be the Muppets. The first year, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Greg Heffley was right behind Kermit the Frog, and you think you could have taken him? Well, I was staring down the backside of a frog, and I said, that feels about right to me, you know. My thanks to Jeff Kinney and the Plainville crew for spending time with us. Ditto Tony Spring and the Macy's crew. Also to Mark Cohen for his sober retail insights. And thanks especially to you for listening. I hope you have a great holiday season. Meanwhile, coming up next time on the show, the real world remains challenging. Putin looked great, physically, was relaxed, cracking jokes, some of them at our expense. We hear an insider's view of Russian ambition, Ukrainian desperation, and the American response. Our politicians aren't leading Republicans or Democrats. We speak with John J. Sullivan, former Deputy Secretary of State and U.S. Ambassador to Russia. That's next time on the show. Until then, take care of yourself. And if you can, someone else too. Freakonomics Radio is produced by Stitcher and Renbud Radio. You can find our entire archive on any podcast app, also at Freakonomics.com, where we publish transcripts and show notes. This series was produced by Alina Coleman, and we had recording help from George Hicks and research help from Daniel Moritz-Radson. Our staff also includes Augusta Chapman, Dalvin Abalaji, Eleanor Osborne, Ellen Frankman, Elsa Hernandez, Gabriel Roth, Greg Rippin, Jasmine Klinger, Jason Gambrell, Jeremy Johnston, John Schnars, Lyric Bowditch, Morgan Levy, Neil Carruth, Rebecca Lee Douglas, Sarah Lip. Of your happy place and my happy place, 18th century naval history and military history. Napoleon strikes Egypt, partly because of his grandiose plans to emulate the conquerors of ancient world, partly to get to India and by land, because he can't get received the Royal Navy and undo the British grip on India. But in Egypt, they're doing all sorts of surveying and looking at, and it become fascinated by Egyptology. They're enlarging a fort, are they? They're building some forts, and they find this stone. And how quickly does it become clear this is absolutely a vital relic? I mean, more or less immediately, I think. We don't have a lot of detail on that, you know, from the very first moment that the soldiers are digging and somebody goes, well, wait a sec, there's some inscriptions on that. But it is a soldier who identifies it, a man called Bouchard, who is at least aware that, you know, this being inscribed could be significant. He must have quickly been aware that it's not just a few signs, it's a very lengthy text. And he may well have recognised, because it doesn't take an enormous amount of scholarship to recognise ancient Greek characters, I think, certainly not in those days, especially not if you're officer class, I guess. Yeah, and the fortress is strategically important because it's just slightly inland from the point at which the Rosetta branch of the Nile meets the Mediterranean. So for the French approaching Egypt from the Mediterranean and looking for strategic points at which to build fortresses, you know, just as their medieval predecessors had done, they realised that at the point at which the river meets the ocean is a great sort of point. And yeah, apparently Bouchard recognises this. The French had brought with them, as you all know very well, not just soldiers, but scholars, artists, scientists, this kind of thing, to make this grand description of Egypt, and they were building a collection of antiquities. So they were looking for, you know, stuff like this. And presumably Bouchard thought, well, maybe that's the thing we should have. Maybe of all the stones that we're about to build our new fortress on top of, maybe we should just take that one and put it on one side and just see what people say. And sure enough,